Religion can play out in both ways, right? Because a religion can give you structure to be orderly, but at the same time, though, if you really understand what's going on with a religion, is when you look at the etymology of the word religion, you see that it's a rely on system. So whenever your mind needs a mental crutch for something for you to rely on something, and you need that something to live out your life in a way where you see that you're doing good and you're staying away from bad. But you need to understand at the same time, though, that structure is an intellectual property of the church. It's a mind frame. It's a mental framing that someone created around the reality that you're living in. And you have to be careful when you're, living through that frame, because now you have someone else outside of you in control of the terms and condition of what that frame could mean. This is why you get a lot of the churches, not agreeing with each other in terms of how to go about this intellectual process. This is why you get these Protestants, those Rosicrucians, those Catholics, and all these different denominations of the church, down to even Islam. Because you gotta remember, at the end of the day, you have your own individual mind, you have your own individual point of view, and you're never gonna see or experience things the same way someone else experienced it. So you really, ultimately, you wanna create your own system. You wanna create your own reality. You wanna be the governor, not have someone else govern your mind under their system, because now you're giving up all your spiritual juices, all your chakras, you're giving up your mind, for someone else to run, for someone else to control, for someone else to do whatever they want to do with it. So when you want to get outside of line, for example, you want to do something that is outside of, let's say, the moral construct of your religion and things like that, because if you look at the history of both Islam and Christianity, we can see that both of these religions were pretty much responsible for a lot of deaths, a lot of just wiping out people, a lot of rape, a lot of destruction. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, I'm not going to sit here and talk about good or bad, because that's just what humanity does throughout life. But we just create different justifications to wipe out other groups so our group can subjugate another group and dominate over that group in terms of our intellectual property, and getting someone else to give up their mind towards our frame so they can power up our system. Because everything happening around you is just like the Matrix. When you are inserted in someone else's Saturn structure, your electric charge, which you produce as static energy, as far as your thoughts and feelings, now you're giving that up to someone else. So you're powering this vampire. It's really just a human mind taking your energy. It's really just a human mind taking your energy. And whenever you do things that are, like, for example, a lot of pastors, a lot of imams do things that are outside of the religious frame, but they're not going to talk about it necessarily. They're just going to come on stage, tell you, I'm moving with the spirit. They're going to come preach there really good. They're going to say a lot of good words, and at least what we perceive to be good, but really they're just trying to rock you to sleep, and they're rocking themselves to sleep, because behind closed doors, they know they're not necessarily people that are righteously upholding the doctrine to the fullest of its extent. Because you got to remember, what's good for me is not necessarily good for you. What's bad for me ain't necessarily bad for you. So even when we read the Bible or the Quran, we're always going to take things out of that book that agree with our internal framework, our original framework, which is our cosmic energy blueprint, and whatever it is that we actually desire or wish to express, we're going to express that in such ways where we're going to find ways to justify that. We're going to find ways to, agree with that. We're going to find ways to push that out, regardless of, how the outer world look at it. So we're always going to create some kind of shape or form for us to express what is that we really want to express, even if we got to, make a weird loop system around it. Because people be doing whatever they want to be doing anyways. But the question is, it's not what they want to do, it's how they're going to do it. Because now they got to justify that thing. So what I'm ultimately saying is here, always create your own framework. Because your mind, you're not supposed to necessarily get encapsulated by someone else. You're supposed to encapsulate these energies, and you're supposed to formulate your mind around it, and you create your own intellectual property. You create your own form of morality. You create your own form of what you value. Don't tell someone else to tell you what you value. For example, you might be, when I was younger, my parents tried to tell me what I should value and things like that. But really, that's up to me to decide, and God showed me in my life that I gotta transform that area of my life and decide what is it that I want to value personally. Not let someone else decide what I value and live according to someone else's framework. Because whenever you do that, you're gonna find yourself coming short, and you're gonna be praying to God like, God, why am I coming short? And you're gonna be like, you're gonna be butting your head against the wall, and you can't even figure it out. But you're living with someone else's framework. You got your own framework, and you gotta move about that, not someone else's point of view, not even mine. You gotta create your own shit, real fucking shit.